Hello everyone, this video is in continuation to our videos on reproductive health, or if I say it's the last video of the topic reproductive health. After this video we'll be done with reproductive system and we'll start with our next unit, that is genetics and evolution. Fine. So in this video we'll talk about the rest of the techniques. In our previous video we have discussed about test tube babies. In this we are going to talk about the rest of the assisted reproductive technologies which are left, that is GIFT, gamete intrafallopian transfer, AI, artificial insemination, and ICSI, wherein intracellular seminal sperm injections are injected. So we'll talk about the techniques one by one. सबसे पहले is GIFT. Now GIFT or gamete intrafallopian transfer technique. Now gamete intrafallopian transfer, gamete, we are talking about the gamete, and the female gamete is the egg. Fine. So that means transference of egg transferred in the fallopian tube. This is done in this technique, that the egg is taken from the female ovary, same mother's ovary, and it's taken and it is transferred in the fallopian tube. The reason could be that maybe the egg can be taken from a donor as well here. So in this condition the egg maybe is not properly formed, so it's taken from a donor, or the oviducal funnel or the fimbriae maybe are unable to receive the egg and pass it to the fallopian tube. So in both these scenarios, in the egg will be placed in the fallopian tube, and then the process remains the same, that the sperms are injected, sperms are there in the female reproductive tract, they move to the egg, fertilize it, the process remains the same. But what do we only do? We just inject, or we just place the egg, take the egg from the mother and place it in the fallopian tube. So that is done in this technique, gamete intrafallopian transfer. So why is it done? There are multiple reasons. Maybe the egg not properly formed, this could be the reason, or even the fimbriae could be non-functional, so the egg could not reach the fallopian tubes. That's why the egg has to be implanted in the female's fallopian tube. Fine. So this is GIFT or gamete intrafallopian transfer technique. Now next technique is artificial insemination. Artificial insemination is basically this technique is basically for females. Herein, artificial insemination is for males. The sperms are artificially placed in female reproductive tract. Now why do we have to do this technique? Wherein oligospermia is there. That means less sperm count. So what is done? Multiple ejaculations are taken from the father, and those multiple ejaculations are placed in the uterus, so that they swim towards the ova and fertilize it, and the fertilization and then development could take place. Herein there is one more reason. I'll write it with some other pen. This is something important. Here is some females form antibodies for sperms in the vagina. Fine. So what will happen when the sperms will enter in the vagina? They will be killed there and then, because the antibodies will destroy them. So now herein what is done? The sperms are placed directly in the uterus, not in the vagina, because their antibodies are there. So it's directly placed in the uterus and the fertilization takes place. This is artificial insemination. Then we have intracellular sperm injection, a simple technique in which the sperms are injected to the ova. sperms are artificially injected in the ova and then fertilization occurs. Now this also is done, or it is preferred in the cases where maybe the sperm count is less. So sperms are taken from the person who has sperm count less, ejaculate is taken, and from that ejaculate the sperm is directly injected into the ova. So this is a technique. These are the techniques which can be used by the couples to have children if they are naturally not, they are incapable of having children. So these are the art techniques. We are done with the reproductive health. This was the last video for reproductive health. From our next video on, we are going to start up with the new unit, that is the next unit of your book, that is the genetics. So keep watching, liking, sharing, subscribing. Thank you.